This evening, first, GCOM showdown. A tense session at the Guyana Elections Commission ends in a walkout and a lack of quorum as Opposition Commissioner Desmond Trotman protests key issues left off the agenda. Will the elections stay on track? We have the latest on the standoff and what it means for September 1st polls, plus Attorney General's stance. Attorney General Anil Nandlall fires back, insisting the elections will proceed no matter what. He is accusing the opposition of playing politics and delaying the process. Find out why this battle over ballots could shape the road to Election Day. Also, support for seniors. A new lifeline for Guyana's elderly. The government launches a $10 billion one-off payment program for seniors who missed the National Insurance Scheme pension threshold. Who qualifies and how much will they receive? We'll break down what this means for retirees. Meanwhile, justice served. Sort of. A Buxton man was sentenced for the killing of a young woman at a gold mining camp after pleading guilty to manslaughter. What was the emotional toll on the victim's family? And why did the judge reduce his sentence? Finally, mass prison break. A prison head count gone wrong. Pakistani authorities are on the hunt for over 100 escaped inmates after an earthquake shakes Karachi. We'll have the details on this daring breakout. All this and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for June 4th, 2025. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the United States Embassy in Georgetown issued a public advisory today, cautioning visa holders and applicants against using U.S. visitor visas primarily to give birth in the U.S. so their child may obtain American citizenship. In a strong worded statement, the embassy emphasized that such actions are not permitted under U.S. immigration laws. The notice stated that using your visa to travel for the primary purpose of giving birth in the United States so that your child will have U.S. citizenship is not permitted. The embassy further warned that consular officers will deny visa applications if they believe this is the applicant's intent. Additionally, individuals who travel to the U.S. for childbirth and rely on Medicaid or other U.S. government assistance for medical care may be ineligible for future visa renewals. The advisory comes as part of efforts to curb what is commonly referred to as birth tourism, which the U.S. authorities view as an abuse of the visa system. On a different note, a GCOM meeting was adjourned after a walkout by opposition-nominated Commissioner Desmond Trotman over omitted electoral issues. Dominic Gittins has the details and what's next for the Commission.
A scheduled meeting of the Guyana Elections Commission on Tuesday ended abruptly after opposition-nominated Commissioner Desmond Trotman walked out in protest, resulting in a lack of quorum. Trotman's walkout was triggered by the exclusion of several key electoral issues previously raised by opposition commissioners from the meeting's agenda. His departure left the commission without the required quorum of 2 commissioners from each side, forcing an adjournment. Commissioner Vincent Alexander confirmed the development, stating that matters such as stamping of ballots, voting rights for incarcerated individuals, dual citizenship concerns, and methods of identifying deceased voters were not included due to the Attorney General's failure to respond. GCOM chairperson, Justice Retired Claudette Singh, explained that the matter were excluded pending responses from Attorney General Anil Nandlall, but assured the Commission that the answers would be available by Thursday. Trotman insisted that the items should have at least been listed for reporting and preliminary discussion, citing the importances of transparency and readiness ahead of the September 1st general and regional elections. The meeting was rescheduled for Thursday with a commitment to include the omitted issues. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, Dominic Gittins.
Thanks, Dominic. Attorney General Anil Nandlall has made it clear that the Guyana Elections Commission GCOM will proceed with preparations for the September 1st general and regional elections, regardless of the participation of opposition-nominated commissioners. His statement comes in the wake of Tuesday's GCOM meeting, which was abruptly adjourned due to a lack of quorum after Opposition Commissioner Desmond Trotman walked out in protest. Trotman reportedly objected to the absence of several key electoral issues from the meeting agenda, which had been raised at a previous meeting. Speaking on his weekly program, Issues in the News, Nandlall accused Opposition Commissioners Trotman, Vincent Alexander, and Charles Corbin of attempting to delay the Commission's work.
Charles Corbin, Vincent Alexander, and Desmond Trotman are engaging in the regular form of conduct. They are attending the meetings and then they are walking out to make it inchoate. They are denying the meeting of a quorum. Fortunately, the law is a great institution, and the Constitution itself provides that when they unreasonably withhold their presence to a meeting or from a meeting, when they absent from the meeting or withdraws from the meeting without just cause, and that just cause is determined, or what constitutes just cause is determined by the chairman, the meeting shall stand adjourned to a day not later than 2 calendar days. So they walk out today, the meeting stands automatically adjourned to a day not later than 2 calendar days. So that meeting that they walk out from today is automatically adjourned to not a date Thursday, a date not later than 2 calendar days. It can happen tomorrow or it can happen Thursday. And at the same time and place, the meeting will take place at the same time and place, and notice of such adjournment shall be given to the absent members. And if at the adjourned meeting a quorum is not present, the members then present, being not less than 4, including the chairman, shall be deemed to constitute a quorum, and any decision made at that or at any such meeting shall be in law valid and binding. And that, my friends, is expressly set out at Article 226(5) of the Constitution of the Republic of Guyana.
Meanwhile, opposition commissioners maintain that they are ready to address election-related matters, but insist that key issues such as ballot stamping, dual citizenship voting rights, and the inclusion of deceased persons on the voters list must be discussed. They claim that GCOM's chair acknowledged the omission of those items from the agenda because she was still awaiting legal advice from the same Attorney General who is now accusing them of obstruction. GCOM is expected to reconvene on Thursday, with the chair promising to include the previously omitted issues for discussion. Stick around when we return. Guyana's government welcomes KLM Royal Dutch Airlines with New Amsterdam to Georgetown route, and NIS one-off payment program launched to support senior citizens.
Sneak clearly with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl, forget things.
Who's the
problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. A 27-year-old man, Kieran Hope, known as Blacker, was on Monday sentenced to 12 years in prison for the 2022 killing of 26-year-old Marion Edwards near a mining camp in Region 7. Hope of Buxton, East Coast, Demerara, pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter in the High Court at Essequibo. The incident occurred between June 8th and June 9th of 2022 at Kumong Puruni River, where both were employed in the gold mining sector. Hope admitted to strangling Edwards following an argument after she attempted to end their affair. He later disposed of her body near a tailing pond and stole her purse containing gold. Initially found tied up and injured, Hope later led police to the victim's body. A post-mortem confirmed she died from manual strangulation and blunt force trauma. Justice Navendra Singh began with a 30-year sentence, but deducted time for Hope's earlier guilty plea, cooperation, and positive conduct report. However, 2 years were added for the emotional toll on Edwards' family, resulting in a 12-year sentence. Time already served on remand will be deducted. Moving on, the government has launched a one-off NIS payment program to support senior citizens missing out on pensions. Dominic Gittins has the details on how many will benefit and how to apply.
The government of Ghana has officially launched the NIS one-off payment program aimed at supporting senior citizens who narrowly fall short of the contribution threshold required for a national insurance scheme pension. Senior Minister with responsibility for finance and the public service, Dr. Ashni Singh, led the launch on Tuesday, following President Irfan Ali's announcement of the initiative earlier this year. The program targets persons who have made contributions between 500 and 749 and are not currently receiving a pension, but who have reached the age of 60 on or before December 31st, 2024. Eligible individuals will receive a one-time payment ranging from $260,000 to $650,000, depending on their total contributions to the program. Applicants can check their eligibility and apply online via oneoffnis.gov.gy or submit completed forms at NIS offices across the country. Dr. Singh encouraged all eligible persons to submit their applications promptly. The initiative is part of the government's broader effort to enhance the well-being of Guyana's elderly population and ensure they can retire with dignity. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, Dominic Gittins.
Thanks, Dominic. Guyana officially welcomed KLM Royal Dutch Airlines on June 4, 2025, with the launch of a twice-weekly service connecting Amsterdam to Georgetown via St. Martin, an initiative hailed by President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali as a major step towards transforming Guyana into a regional aviation hub. Speaking at the launch event in Georgetown yesterday, President Ali described the new route as a strategic investment in the country's long-term development, poised to unlock significant trade, tourism, and economic opportunities, particularly in sectors like agro-processing and cargo transport.
KLM connects us with what I consider one of the most enjoyable and one of the easiest international hubs in the world, in the Netherlands. And that is what is important here. This is not just about an airline and a flight and a connection. This is a connection to one of the most prestigious hubs in the world. And that opens up significant opportunities, not only for passengers moving between countries and destinations, but it opens up tremendous opportunities for our economy itself and where we're positioning the economy in relation to our agro-processing potential, our cargo potential, and our ability to now move product and produce in a more efficient way throughout the region.
The president highlighted the aviation sector's growing impact on the national economy, contributing over $116 million to the GDP, supporting 5,200 jobs, and increasing passenger numbers and travel destinations.
Moving our seat capacity coming into Guyana from 336,000 to almost 1.5 million seats coming into Guyana. That is extraordinary work in just 4 years. 4 years ago, we had just about 5 carriers serving our country. Today, we have 11 carriers. We are connected only to 6 destinations. Today, we are connected to 16 destinations.
Plans are underway to develop further aviation infrastructure, digital services, and training programs to support continued growth. KLM's regional manager Dirk Beitulaar said the new route represents more than just connectivity.
The launch of the flight is more than just a new destination in the global network of Air France and KLM. It's a symbol of a connection between Europe and South America, between the Netherlands and Guyana, between commerce and culture, and most importantly, between people.
KLM Royal Dutch Airlines will officially begin its Ghana service today. Don't go away after the break. Why is the Caribbean drowning in a record seaweed invasion? And earthquake sparks escape of 216 inmates from Pakistan prison.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from modern optical services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago's Financial Investigations Branch has been assigned to investigate a $950,000 payment made to Jamaican dancehall artist Vybz Kartel by the promoters of the One Caribbean Music Festival, Trinidad and Tobago's Acting Police Commissioner Junior Benjamin announced. Although no formal complaints was filed, the investigation aims to ensure no laws were broken after Kartel, who later withdrew from the event, claimed he didn't receive his full $1.3 million fee. A massive bloom of sargassum seaweed is wreaking havoc across the Caribbean, with a record-breaking 38 million metric tons smothering shorelines over the past month. The unprecedented influx is damaging tourism, harming wildlife, and even releasing toxic gases that force a school closure in Martinique. Al Jazeera's Paul Ging reports.
About 38 million metric tons of the sargassum seaweed, a brown, prickly algae, has been smothering Caribbean shorelines over the last month. That's 16 million tons more than the previous record amount. It's been damaging tourism, killing wildlife, and even releasing toxic gases that forced a school on the French Caribbean island of Martinique to close briefly. Jose Rodriguez is a Puerto Rican fisherman. He says business has been hit hard.
El sargazo es algo The sargassum is a very bad thing for fishermen. You can't fish properly because everything comes out full of sargassum, which is very strong. The sargassum reaches the shores. Throwing the nets also doesn't work. The fishermen that fish with nets get full of sargassum, and this is a problem because the fish leave the area.
As well as keeping holidaymakers away, the dark seaweed stops sunlight from reaching coral reefs. Experts say that runoff from agricultural land, warming waters, changes in winds, the currents, and rainfall amounts could all be factors.
It's an active area of study, actually. We don't have a really clear example of what is causing this specific massive bloom. But generally, anytime you have, just like for any plant species, anytime you have the seed population, the right nutrients, the right light environment, the right temperatures, you have conditions that are right for explosive growth. And that's what we're seeing right now. In the context of climate change, it's not necessarily a one-to-one for warmer temperatures will yield more sargassum. Just like with any organism, it's got a temperature tolerance. So if it's too warm, you may actually get less growth. And same thing if it's too cool.
Whatever the doubts about the specific reasons for the huge increase, there's no doubt that it's hitting the livelihoods of hundreds of people and indeed the lives of thousands of animals across the Caribbean region. Paul Ging, Al Jazeera.
Pakistani authorities are searching for more than 100 prison inmates who escaped in a massive breakout. The prisoners were taken out of their cells for a head count after an earthquake in Karachi when they fled. Al Jazeera's Hamza Mohammed reports.
The aftermath of a major prison break in Pakistan. Worried for prisoners' safety following a series of earthquake tremors, officials say inmates were brought out of their cells for a head count. But then, chaos. Prisoners turned on security guards, seizing their weapons and triggering a gunfight. At least one prisoner was killed and several guards injured. Hundreds of inmates escaped.
There was a total of 6,000 prisoners at the time of evacuation. 216 prisoners managed to escape. We have recaptured 78.
Family members have gathered outside the prison, desperate for news about their loved ones.
My son Hamza was imprisoned here. He was an addict. He was caught by police for using drugs. I met my son here yesterday. Then I heard this news last night that prisoners have escaped from here. I am here to inquire about my son. I'm worried about him.
My son is a prisoner. They're not telling me his whereabouts, rather baton charging. There are no rules and regulations. They're not even telling me whether my son is alive or dead.
Officials say such operations are underway for those still on the run, after one of the largest prison breakouts in Pakistan's history. Hamza Mohammed, Al Jazeera.
Billionaire Elon Musk has renewed his criticism of United States President Donald Trump's signature budget bill, calling it a disgusting abomination in a series of social media posts. Al Jazeera's Heidi Zucastro reports.
A man named Elon.
Just 3 days after his praise-filled send-off from the White House, Elon Musk skewered Donald Trump's budget bill, posting on X that it was a disgusting abomination that will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit. Trump has been pressuring Republican senators to quickly pass the measure, which he calls the Big Beautiful Bill. At its heart, an extension of Trump's 2017 tax cuts and more funding for the military, border security, and deportations. Those items are all popular among conservatives, but what's not popular is their price tag. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says that this bill will raise the U.S. deficit by $3.8 trillion over the next decade. John Thune, the Senate's Republican Majority Leader, responded to Musk's attack on the bill, saying it will ultimately save more money than it spends.
You will see a reduction, not an increase in the deficit. So we have a difference of opinion. He's entitled to that opinion.
Senate Democrats are united in opposition to the bill, which seeks to offset spending with cuts to social safety net programs like Medicaid. That provides government-funded health care to the poor, disabled, and elderly.
20 million Americans will see their health care costs go up.
The measure passed in the House of Representatives by just one vote in May. To clear the Senate, it can lose no more than 3 Republican votes. Trump has been publicly criticizing the fiscal conservative Senator Rand Paul for his refusal to fall in line.
I don't make it personal at all. I like the president, supported the president. In fact, I'm for the tax cuts. I am for a lot of the bill, but I can't in good conscience give up every principle that I stand for and every principle that I was elected upon, and that's that we can't accumulate more debt.
Some moderate Republicans have voiced concerns about the cuts to health care, and that puts the bill in a precarious position, stretched between demands for changes from conflicting wings of the Republican Party and under Trump's pressure to have a budget to sign by the July 4th holiday. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, Washington.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-minute forecast. And that's Safety B2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.